I'm Casper Franken and I work at Shotopop. We mostly do animation. We started off as an illustration company about 10 years ago, and as time went on we kind of started making our things move, and now we're predominantly doing illustration plus animation as the big thing. Kind of almost by accident. I was a web designer and then I started doing freelance, and then illustration started kind of happening as a side. And I accidentally got my first agent and then decided to just roll with this, and we started a company, and in time the company grew, and now it just kind of almost accidentally happened by itself. So most of our Nike work is our favorite stuff because it's usually quite reactive and we have to just be on it all the time. They come to us and it's like it's always super tight deadlines and things that need to happen right now, which makes it creatively very cool because you can't do what you've done before, and you have to come up with new solutions and you have to kind of think on your feet, and it's always different. So I think one of my favorite ones was the Olympic gifts we did for Nike. Kind of just we had all the athletes, all the Nike sponsored athletes like Mo Farah, just like everyone, we had footage of them and we just made like a ton of cool gifts. And then my other favorite project would probably be the Johnny Walker stuff we do is always fun. They let us they sometimes give us a bit of free reign, and we've done some crazy stuff with them, which I always like those. So we mostly probably use Photoshop, Illustrator, and After Effects because we're an animation company. We use like a ton of different. We also use Animate and Flash from time to time. Animate is Flash now. Flash is Animate. But yeah, we use Photoshop, After Effects, Flash, Illustrator, InDesign. The whole bunch, really. So it depends on what side you're coming from. If you're coming in from it at we came from it at an illustrator, from like an illustrator point of view, and it's often difficult for illustrators to see how work can be used commercially. So it's important to see if you're doing something well, how can this be applicable to a brand, or how can a client use this, and try and think of what you're doing, not in terms only of it being cool and artistic, but also how it could be useful and meaningful for a brand, or how it could convey a message, or how it could relate to something else. It's always good to think of things not purely on an artistic level, but also in terms of what you're trying to say. And like lots of times when people out of university come to us, and like there's amazing work out there and there's lots of cool portfolios, and lots of people have problem getting in because they don't apply their artistic skills to the real world. Which is also something that we needed to learn over the last 10 years. And it's not always easy when you go, your work, when you work commercially, is not really just your work, it's the client's project. And you have to think of it in terms of what they want. And it's not solely your thing, it's their thing as well. We don't have a specific process that we follow because the work that we do is absolutely all over the place, to be honest. Sometimes we do animation, sometimes we'll be doing a mural in Russia, sometimes we'll be building a set in Shanghai. Literally the things we do the range of things are so broad. We usually sit and talk. All of us just get together, we discuss. It's always important for us to discuss not only the creativity behind something, but like we try and find the problems, and when we get a brief in, we try and understand what the problem is and not just solve the brief. Often people come to us and they go, this is what they want, but it's our job to find out like why they want it, and what the meaning is and what they want to try and say, and that helps us understand the context of what they're trying to do, and that gives us a much better idea of how to approach the whole thing.